Okay, now I've shown you that I've added this piece in, these pieces in here, going from the front to the back. Everything's glued down. Everything, it can now hang because everything's glued in. But I've decided that this, I don't particularly like how this yellow bit looks next to the painted paper surface. I also don't like that it's a very clear pathway. So what I'm gonna do is, I've got some paint set up over here. There's my coffee, my trusty coffee. And I'm gonna come in with some brushes and I don't know, maybe some other items. I'm not really sure. But I'm gonna kind of rough it up. When I was discussing it with Baron this morning, I said I wanted to make it look more painterly, like it was applied with brushes instead of being cut out, because we have these elements here which I really like. I need to kind of rough up the edges a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and put paint over top of it. Now if I don't like it, I always have the option of going back in and putting more paper on it. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Okay, you can see, because I just added a little bit on there, you can see parts of it are still wet. I'm taking this really slow. I'm adding layers of paint. This is about 3 layers. And I'm liking it better. I like the fading out better. I think this side looks way better. I like that there is more motion to that area, that little yellow brick road I've been calling it in my head. And I've been using, of all things, like a super cheap paintbrush that came in somewhere. It's like not a terribly good brush, but because of that, the little bristles kind of go off to the edges, and I've just been kind of mixing together yellows, a little white, some of this more golden kind of yellow, and then trying to just very carefully add it in, let it dry a bit, then come back to it. And I'm doing some other things in between it, because I started the next 2 pieces. Well, it's going to be 2 pieces. The next piece. Anyway, that's pretty much what it's looking like. And you can see, like, I'm basically just taking the paint. Let me see. I'll dip some paint in here. Okay. So I'm not putting very much paint on. And you can see that area where you can kind of see a little bit of that red popping through. I'm just kind of doing these kinds of brush strokes, which means I need to do a lot of I'll need to do a lot of layers to get it where I want it, because you can still kind of see the outline here. So I'll just continue with this brush and adding layers as I go. And it's nice because I've got the next piece over here, that I want to show you how I am. It's going to be constructed in a similar way to, okay, hold on, let me reach down here because I've got it right over here. It's going to be constructed in a similar way with pieces of board that fit together. Does that make sense? So I'm in the process of mapping all of those out, and I need to do some gluing right now because I need to thicken up, because you can see here, if I pull this little piece out, I've only got 1 width here. So I need to thicken this up a little bit more. So that's what I'm doing. I'm painting a little bit, letting it dry completely, coming back with a little paint, letting it dry, and then working on this. So I got a couple of things going today. But that's pretty much it for today, because it's going to be a lot of back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I also want to show you how and why I do this measuring, and how I can get these to come together and work as a wall by splitting up one side and splitting down the other side, if that makes any sense. Okay, so this is it for today, because this is Sunday. I am working right now. I just finished up lunch and a little break in the middle of the day. So I'm going to continue with this, and I will see you in the next video, which I'll show you the results of this, and I'll explain more about that over there. And those are not pickles. Thank you, patrons. Bye. Well, let's see if I